Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with another LEGO Star Wars 2016 Rogue One set review. I'm back with the Imperial Assault Hovertank, set number 75152, ages 7 to 12, comes with 385 pieces and is going to retain for £30 or $30. So, very nicely priced for the amount of pieces we are getting. Now, when I saw this first in the trailers a few months ago, I was so hyped. Mostly because of the possibilities with this set. This set can be used in so much stuff. There is so much stuff now that we can do in the LEGO community which we couldn't do before. By which I'm talking about mocks and stop motions. Because the thing is, other than like the walkers such as the AT-80 or the AT-ST or perhaps some of the battle packs like the speeders, there really has not been that many Imperial or Rebellion tanks that you can use in mocks, which I think is one of the reasons there haven't been that many original trilogy mocks. That and of course the fact that Clone Wars dominated LEGO Star Wars. But other than that, now we've got this, that can be so many more Imperial mocks and just stuff like that, because I feel it will work so well. Because until now, all we really had was maybe some speeders from battle packs or like walkers like AT-80 or AT-ST, which got old very quickly because they were always used. So I'm so glad we are getting this set finally. It looks epic. I'm loving it, and I love the way it's quite cheap. So it's not like, you know, a massive set like the Imperial troop transport. Sorry, not the First Order troop transport, which you can buy several of, but realistically, unless you have a lot of money, you're not going to be able to buy like a whole army of them. This, however, just for $30, I think you really can buy quite a few of these to really build up your Imperial collection. I think it will look really, really cool, and I'm certainly going to get at least 2 more eventually. That being said, we first need to build it before we can review it. I'm very excited to open it up, build it, see these minifigures and all that stuff. So, let's go right now and build the Imperial Assault Hovertank. I enjoyed the build of the set. In fact, it was quite reminiscent of some of the Turn 7 or Turn 6 sets. Once you get this set, you'll understand what I mean. But it's almost somewhat simplistic in the way it's built, and it didn't take that long whatsoever. I certainly enjoyed building this a lot more than I've enjoyed building, say, some of the other construction sets or some of the other larger sets. It was kind of so simple, I really could imagine myself buying multiples of these and enjoying building each and every one. That being said, let's go straight in to the minifigures. The first minifigure we have is Chirrut Imwe. I'm afraid I've tried to keep away from Rogue One spoilers as much as possible, which does mean that I don't know how to pronounce some of the names of the characters. Nonetheless, we have seen him a little bit in the trailers. I believe, from my limited knowledge, he is a Force user of some sort. At least he believes in the Jedi way, but he's not a full Jedi, or maybe he was a Jedi that escaped Order 66. I'm afraid I don't actually know. As I've said, I've tried to keep away from Rogue One spoilers as much as possible, so I don't really know anything about his character. Nonetheless, minifigure-wise, he is very nice. Of course, you can see he's packed out with weapons. The main weapon, I suppose you would say, is this staff in the front. I have no idea if this can deflect lightsabers. Of course, it is not a lightsaber itself, despite the fact it does have a lightsaber hilt. It is just, of course, the stuff which he uses to take down stormtroopers. Pretty simply made, as you can see there. Not a really massive amount to show you. Taking off to see his torso, you can see his hands. One of them is flesh, the same as obviously his skin tone. The other one, however, is white. I don't know if maybe that's a bionic arm, sorry, a bionic hand or something like that. Maybe it's just a glove. I have no idea. As I said, I try to keep away from spoilers as much as possible. But nonetheless, there's something to point out that is a slightly different thing, so I hope to find out why that's different in the film. Anyway, so you can see his torso here is very nice. We've got this little communicator down here. I think it's a communicator, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what else it would be, but it looks like a type of radio type thing, but of course I may be wrong. We've got these straps going across his torso, very nice, and of course a few little pouches, just very nice detailing, which goes very well. There is no leg printing, but there is a very nice waist cape down here, which is of course somewhat different to the usual waist cape we've got. This is a new type of waist cape where it kind of, it's hard to explain without actually showing you, like actually taking it off. Effectively, you know, where you like fold it around and put them on each peg, you kind of fold them and intertwine them, if you have any idea what I'm talking about. But it kind of works like that, and of course you can see some printing there, which is very nice. It looks very much more like a, well, more like a cape really, to put it in, you know. It looks more like a sort of kilt type thing, if that makes any sense, if you're Scottish, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, very nice added detail. I'm very glad they added that. It does look very nice, and of course I am glad they didn't just go with the usual waist cape. They did give him something different, and I think it's a lot more accurate. I think it does look very good with his character. Again, of course, I've known nothing about this character because the film is meant to come out in 2 or 3 months. So until that point, I have no idea what he really looks like. I just know the trailers. Nonetheless, his torso printing there, of course, also looks good. As I said, he does have a weapon that attaches to the back. You can see that peg on the back. Of course, you got that thing which goes sort of that the usual piece you've seen before. Very nice. But the weapon he uses, which he has on the box, but I just put on the back because I think it's where you're meant to put it. It's a very nice weapon. It's a usual rifle that we have seen before with this type of piece on, and of course these tooth pieces and this cone piece on the end, which is a very nice addition. It kind of looks almost sort of medieval, or at least medieval Star Wars wise, you know, like kind of like a relic from previous times nonetheless. If I just want to show you his face. Oh yeah, of course, one thing I do know about him, he's a blind character, which kind of does leave the fact he's force sensitive, because surely, unless he's incredibly well trained or he's Daredevil, then if he's blind, surely how would he be able to take down the stormtroopers? So yeah, he is blind. Of course, that's his standard face on the back. Here we kind of have a smirk type of face. That's a little surprising to me, because he seems more like a serious type character, so it is nice to see that he does come with a smirk type. He's not completely serious all the time. Nonetheless, you can see his back torso printing, which does continue from the front, of course, going to the back. I'm not sure that is. It sort of looks like a towel. I have no idea why it reminds me of a towel, but something just hanging down there. I don't think it's a hood or anything, but just some very nice printing back there as well. Of course, he's predominantly black, although there is other shades of colours, including a little bit of white and other things around there. Overall, a very nice looking character. I'm not sure how much of a main character he'll be. I mean, of course, I don't think he's going to be the most main character, but he might be a sort of old Ben Kenobi type character, as in, like, you know, what was it called? A New Hope, that type of sort of character he might be. Nonetheless, I cannot wait to see him in the new film. I'm very excited. Very nice minifigure. I hope the character is just as cool. He looks pretty badass in the trailers. I can't wait to see him. And that is Chirrut Imwe. I'm sorry, I don't know. Let's then move on to the Imperial Hovertank pilots. The next minifigure we get is an Imperial Hovertank pilot. Now, as you've probably already seen, we do get 2 of them in this set. There are 2 different slots for these minifigures, so it's very nice that you do get multiples, and we can build our collection easier that way. Everything about this minifigure is completely new. Despite the fact it is a different class of stormtrooper, everything about it is new. The printing, the helmet molds, absolutely everything, apart from the face printing, which is, by the way, the same as every other clone trooper or stormtrooper, whatever, but that's just the only other thing. Now, I just want to say, before I get properly started on this minifigure, one little thing that people have been discussing: the helmet mold between this and the one on the TIE Striker, the short trooper, if you will, is exactly the same. Not the printing, not the color, of course, but the molds are exactly the same. So I just want to put that out there right now. There isn't actually any difference. Now, it's not a bad thing by any means. I still love both these troopers, and I think they are very, very nice additions to their sets. I'll talk about this more when I go into the actual review of the TIE Striker, so check that out on my channel once it's out. But nonetheless, just want to say that right now, the molds of these 2 helmets are exactly the same. Just want to say that right here. Anyway, so this trooper is a very, very nice trooper. Not just the helmet, but also the printing everywhere is very nice. Starting with the legs, similar to all stormtroopers, the knee pads are slightly different on both legs. I don't entirely know why stormtroopers have this, but it's just a nice little addition. Although the legs are cut off, you can see there sort of the printing is cut off. This is something they've done with the majority of their minifigures, but not all of them, which is kind of the thing why some people sometimes wonder why they do it, because not every single minifigure has this. So it's a bit odd. Nonetheless, their legs are predominantly black. I mean, of course, they're predominantly white, but you know, most of the printing is just regular black. Now, we can see here there is a little gap there from the the belt to the torso. That's a little annoyance to me, but really it's not the biggest deal whatsoever. It's still a very nice trooper overall. And the torso print, despite the fact they are stormtroopers, is completely different from a regular stormtrooper. I do like that. Moving towards the back is also completely different. You can really see that despite the fact this is a stormtrooper, it is a completely different figure, and certainly a new addition, and something I'm very glad to add to my Imperial collection. I'm definitely going to get a lot more of these guys. I feel like this trooper will go for a fair amount of eBay eBay, although saying that the set isn't really that expensive, so I doubt it'll go for like, you know, hundreds, and it's got 2 in the set, and probably get some more sets, so yeah. Anyway, the helmet then, the helmet mold is, of course, as you can see, completely unique. It almost reminds me slightly of a sort of rebellion, or perhaps a resistance from the Force Awakens helmet. I don't know why, maybe it's this flap on the top kind of, which of course doesn't move, none of this moves or anything, but nonetheless, very nice helmet, predominantly white, just a little printing around the edges, not a massive amount there. And the most of the printing is on the front here, as you can see, and of course we get a little visor there. Not an incredibly large visor, that's something I will mention with the Shore Trooper. The visor is considerably longer, goes across the helmet a lot more. This is a little thing I'll mention, but nonetheless the helmet is new. As I already pointed out, the head is the exact same as we've got in Clones or other things. And he does come with weapons, so does the other trooper, although I've put the other trooper's weapon, which is, if I can pick it up, which is just this regular rifle. I've put that on the tank, which is meant to go. It's kind of annoying. Well, I mean, we do get another little mini pistol, which is in the crate right now, but it's a little annoying we don't get 2 of these weapons for these troopers, although they are pilots, so, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Of course, you've probably got 1,000 of these weapons anyway, so it's not really the biggest deal. I'm just glad we don't get those battle pack, you know, stud shooter weapons. They just suck. Nonetheless, a very nice trooper. I'm glad Lego made him and gave him a new helmet mold, of course. Very, very nice, and I cannot wait to get more of him. Let's now move on to the actual Hovertank itself. The Hovertank is definitely one of, if not my favourite set from this line, which may sound a bit odd, because normally I would say one of my favourite sets would be the most expensive set, or at least up there with the larger sets. But I think because this set is so small, and because it's so sort of compact and quite cheap, and because you can get an army of them, that is the reason it's one of my favourite sets, because it's just so useful, and quite frankly, I think this is more or less aimed at quite kind of anyone. If you like Star Wars in any capacity, even if you just like the Clone Wars, even if you don't particularly, you know, like the original trilogy or whatever, or maybe you just collect the larger sets, I really think this set is definitely something to pick up, because I think it will look very good against pretty much any other Imperial set. ATSTs, AT-ATs, even some UCS sets. I think if you got quite a few of these, it would look very nice. Now, moving on to the features, in the back here we have, of course, a crate. You don't get 2 crates, although there are slots for 2 crates. Well, that's not a big deal. Some people would rather we got 2 crates, and I guess it would be nice to have 2 crates, you know, some added detail, but really it is not the biggest deal whatsoever. I don't mind. 1 crate is perfectly fine. Nonetheless, it is quite orange, as you can obviously see, which I quite like. You know, you may not enjoy the fact it's orange, which goes massively against the grey and dark grey here, but actually I like that because I think it does go quite well. Opening it up, of course, we do have a binocular piece there and little blaster, as I pointed out before. Of course, you can put it on either thing. It really doesn't make a difference whatsoever. Okay, so moving on to the bottom here, we have these wheels, of course, just like the Imperial, sorry, not the Imperial, the, what's it called, First Order Snowspeeder from last year. They're the exact same thing, and of course, it's a nice feature for children to, you know, so you can roll it around as well. That's another thing as well. I think it's definitely one of those sets you can get for a birthday or Christmas if you have a young child, because I think it'll definitely be a very nice toy for that, and really, it's quite sturdy, you know, it's one of those sets that, because I think it is so sort of compact and relatively light, it is a very sturdy set, and really, it's not going to break easy, so you can definitely give this. It's definitely an absolute good present to give to a young child. Nonetheless, moving along, this is a fair amount of detailing, really. I think, in my personal opinion, this has the perfect amount of studs to a plate ratio. I've said this a few times before, but I think the best looking sets are the ones that have the perfect amount of studs showing to plate showing ratio. You know, if it's like just a bit off that, like too many plates, too many studs, don't look good, but I think this is done very well. Moving on top here, you can see this is fixed in place quite well. As I said, you can pretty much hold it from anywhere, more or less, like literally anywhere. The hatch, this is just a bit detailing, this doesn't actually do anything. You can't put a weapon there, I believe. Like, you can take this weapon, put it in that hole, although I don't really think it's meant to fit in. I just think you can if you want, I guess. Nonetheless, this does open up, and you can put, I mean, I'm sorry the light doesn't get in there very well, but you can, perhaps if I open this, there we go. Okay, you can put, of course, a minifigure in there and another minifigure in there. Well, actually, no, sorry, the minifigure goes in that slot, in that brown slot there. I don't really know what goes up here. I guess that's just for decoration? Oh, no, I know what that's for. Sorry, I know what that's for. That's for when he wants to stand up in the thing, like literally when you stand up, such as tanks are. Stop falling over. But yeah, it's a very nice thing. You don't know actual studs to attach the minifigures to, although of course it's not a starfighter, so you're not going to be waving them out, unless you want to, I guess. But nonetheless, there are no actual studs. You just put the minifigures in as such, and they just sort of sit there, held there by gravity. There is no sort of printed plates or control panels or anything like that. You just have these little red lights there, which are very nice. And of course, this flap does open in and out as well, as you've seen. It's very nice detailing here. I very much like this. Very, very nice. And just a little thing, it's kind of irrelevant. It's not really a feature, but just I like this. If I can take it off, there we go. I like this design. I just want to point out, really, I don't know why, but this sort of this snot, which if you have no idea what that means, it basically means studs not on top, more or less. Snot technique, where you know have these sort of put bricks on the side to get more of a what's it called, you know, slippery feeling. Slippery? Is that the right word? I don't know. Anyway, I like the way they've done that, and, you know, I think it does work quite well. This does not move up and down, by the way, which I kind of thought it did for some reason, but this does not. This is fixed, and it is very nice, actually. It's a very nice feature. These, however, do move up and down. They can move at 360, although, of course, when it's on the ground, it can't, you know, go like that. But nonetheless, it can go at 360, which is very nice, and, of course, it should go without saying, but this little rifle can do that as well. I've got to be honest with you, I kind of wish we had a full-on blaster, like a brick-built type thing, similar to, once again, comparing it to this, where we have on the front this brick-built thing. I kind of wish we had the same sort of thing for this. Maybe not as large, but for some reason, this rifle just on top just looks a bit kind of, I don't know, odd to me. It just always has with tanks, where you just got this little rifle, you know, especially when you've got other minifigures around it which have rifles in their hands. It just looks a bit kind of weak for a tank. Nonetheless, you can probably add something on there. You could put a brick-built thing there. We've got core pegs, which I believe you can put thing in, maybe like some weapons. I'm not entirely sure why, because all the weapons in this set you can just hold, like the minifigures could hold themselves. But nonetheless, you've got some pegs which you put in there, and some nice detailing on the sides as well. Some very nice bricks. I haven't really seen these, although I do have a lot of them in this set, and I haven't really seen them in mini sets before. But that's really it. I mean, of course, for a small set, there is not really that many features. Not going to be that many features. I really think this set is very nice for playability. The underneath doesn't look very nice, but that's not the biggest deal. It's a tank. It's not meant to fly. But yeah, sorry, I completely forgot the main feature, I suppose. You can see here, we of course have the spring-loaded shooters, and, the crate just fell off. Okay, stop it. Okay, so, if you turn these knobs on the side, because they're little knobs on the side, you can see the sort of, I'm sorry, the lighting is bad. Stop? Oh, so fiddly. Anyway, okay, you see those sort of black knobs right there, hopefully, if you know what I'm talking about. Well, these simply turn those, which, of course, fire the missiles, and you turn them, and there we go. And of course, you can do both at the same time if you want to. Yeah, very simple. You do get a spare missile, which is nice, but you know, that's what you kind of expect. And I do like the fact they're concealed, because that's the thing I've said in the past. I don't like the way that you can accidentally flick some of these things, like on the Battle of Seleucumai set, where you had it kind of on the speeder. If you know what I'm talking about, you could very easily accidentally flick them, and because they're so powerful, they just lose them. And while I don't particularly care about them, when I'm on display, when I put these on the shelf, I don't have them in them, by the way, if you're curious. But nonetheless, if you are a child and you want to play with it, you only get one spare, and they're very easy to lose. So I do like the fact that the more sets are having them sort of concealed, so you can't accidentally just, you know, flick them and they just go off, you know, you lose them. Nonetheless, a very nice set, as I've said like 10 times already, but I cannot stress. I really like the simple design of it. Quite frankly, it's compact, nice, beautiful looking tank. Just, yeah, great. Love it. But yeah, that being said, let's go down the instructions of the box and include my review. The instruction manual is nothing too special, of course. For a £30 set, it's not really anything more than you expect. We, of course, have the, I think this is the game? I'm not sure. I think it is the game. Or it may just be a poster. No, it is the game. Sorry, it is the game. Available now, of course, you can purchase it if you so desire. We have the Master Force thing on the back here, where I believe you can build your own starfighter and use it in, like, the online game, which you can go to the, site, Lego site, and of course do whatever you want there. Moving on to the back, we have every single set from this line. If you're curious, by the way, I'll be getting the top three, so these, and these. Of course, you've already seen like this and this videos on my channel. I hope to be getting Krennic Shuttle at some point, but probably not anytime soon. I'm sorry, I'm mostly getting that at the end of the year, and I'm probably never going to get the U-Wing. I'm sorry. I will go into more why I've chosen the certain sets I have in another update coming later, probably in the week or sometime, but just let you know now, I'll probably have these three sets reviewed as soon as they come out, and this one hopefully reviewed at the end of the year. This one probably never. Well, maybe you know, in a year's time, whatever. We just have the minifigures from this line as well. Very nice, of course. And a little battle scene here. There, of course, a rumor that the 2016 line will include this battle scene, in fact, and you have a Lego version of that. I'm very excited to see that. We have Krennic's Shuttle, the U-Wing, and some other things like that. We have the minifigures and all that stuff. All that good stuff. Yeah, just mirroring to the back, we have 133 steps, or 69 pages of build, so quite a simple, you know, small instruction manual. As I said, it really did not take that long. Even for a small set, it really did not take that long, and I did enjoy building it. It was a nice little build, and it kind of was a bit nostalgic for me, because it was like building one of those old Tan 6 or Tan 7 sets, which is kind of where I started in the beginning, if you're curious. But yeah, that's the instruction manual, very simple. Let's now go on to the box, and just like many other boxes from the sort of price range, just the Homing Spider Droid or others, the box is the same similar shape, very very sort of rectangular, very wide in that respect, and actually quite deep, because normally boxes are like more that sort of thickness, but I suppose because they wanted the size comparison to be this way around, they made it deliberately thick, which is kind of nice, but you know, there you go. Of course, like the Disney logo in the bottom there, and of course the particular troopers. Please leave down in the comments how you pronounce that name. I have absolutely no idea. Chirrut Imwe. I'm sorry, I don't know. Hopefully I'll learn when the film comes out. Anyway, so you can see the features as I went over before. I didn't show the minifigures in the cockpit, but I'm sure you can probably guess how they work. You can see there that goes through 360, the things do fire, and the wheels do turn, as wheels do. But yeah, you can see there. Very nice. Again, going over the features, all that good stuff. I heard a theory, in fact, at one point, that the Death Star plans were meant to be in that crate. I found that quite hilarious. I doubt that's true, to be honest with you, because even if, you know, it is very inconspicuous, I somehow doubt the Rebellion would expect it to be in there. Nonetheless, it is a little stupid, even for the Empire standards. It'd be a little stupid to have the Death Star plans in a crate of a small tank. It's really, no, I strongly doubt they're in there, but if it is, it'll be a funny little thing, so who knows. Nonetheless, that's the box, pretty nice, and let's now go include my review of the Imperial Hover Assault Tank. No, that was wrong. Whatever, you know me. Thank you for watching my review of the Imperial Assault Hovertank 75152. As I've pretty much said throughout this entire review, I'm a big fan of the set, and this is absolutely one of my favourite sets of this year, which is a big surprise, because normally I'm a big fan of the larger sets, and I would normally put them in my top 10 list of like the biggest sets of this year. So that's a bit of a spoiler. This may be number one, it may not. I am not going to disclaim anything, mainly because I haven't decided yet, but it is definitely going to be in the list, because it is absolutely one of my favourite sets, and something I am quite happy we got, because it's been a long time, guys. Quite frankly, it's been a very long time since I've really wanted to get multiples of a set. Of course, there are the battle packs, and there are some of the Force Awakens sets, which is like the troop transport, whatever. But this is one of the very few sets where it's, you know, a relatively large set compared to, say, like a battle pack, and I want to get a lot of them. I really want to build my army of these. In fact, I'm excited to be a Star Wars fan now. I know that sounds quite hefty just for a small set like this, but this set really has got me more excited again to, you know, to get back into the Empire and start building that army again. And who knows, maybe if I put my army together, and if it's big enough, I might make an army video. Who knows? If you really want to see it, leave it down in the comments, but there you go. Anyway, this is absolutely one of my favourite sets from this line then. I very much recommend getting it. Pretty much whatever you're into. If you're into Clone Wars, if you're into Rebels, if you're into whatever you're into, I recommend getting this set, because it is good for kids. Kids will enjoy playing it. It's good to collect a lot of. Even if you're an adult and you're just into like the larger sets, I think getting a lot of these will look very well against your other Imperial sets, such as like the Imperial AT-ATs or the AT-STs or other stuff like that. So, I hope you enjoyed the review, as I said. And yeah, the next review will be the TIE Striker, and then after that, the AT-ST, and then that'll probably be it to this line of sets, at least for a while. Again, I may do Krennic's Shuttle at the end of this year, but unfortunately, I will not be picking that up on Force Friday. I could, but, well, it's a good set, but I'll go more into why I'm not going to pick that up right now in a further update down the road. Nonetheless, you can expect the AT-ST and the TIE Striker, and that'll probably be it for this line. I am sorry, but don't worry, a lot of other very nice videos are to come, so please subscribe if you want to see all of that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching for the 4th time or whatever, and I will see you in the TIE Strike will be coming up next. By the way, little thing, a comparison of the Snowspeeder and this will be coming probably in the next few weeks, so hope you enjoy that. Nonetheless, that is it. Thank you guys for watching for the 5th time, and I will see you next time with the TIE Striker. Bye, troops. I'm back with the Imperial Assault God. Oh my god, I cannot stress how much I hyped hasn't been a lot of Imperial stop motions or mocks in terms of like that sort of God, come on. Very nice minifigures. God. I'm glad that it's not just an exclusive minifigure where they've only given us a few, so you can really use these in many Imperial sets if you want. I ran out of breath. The next minifigure we have is an Imperial Hovercraft The Imperial Hovertank is definitely one of my favourite, if not the favourite. The interior, right there, you can't see it incredibly well, but still the Why is it blue? I actually quite like the fact it's quite orange, because there's a lot of grey, of course, in this set, and it comes a bit Now, I have referenced a few times this set right here. Oh god, I'm not going to do that. This reminded me of some builds I had done like back in 2007 or 2006, those kind of sets. I mean, the The first minifigure we have is Chirrut. I've tried to stay away from The Force Awakens. That's the wrong movie. It's pretty much entirely brick built, and well, of course, it's just Lego.